Am I the a-hole for temporarily moving out with my kids? BC My husband won't respect boundaries with mother-in-law. Hi everyone, so for context, me and my husband have 3 kids aged 5, 3, and 2, and I'm pregnant with twins. My mother-in-law lives close by, think 15 to 20 minutes max. For a while we would always send our kids over to spend time with her when we needed to get out the house. However, recently, we've realized her house is becoming a less safe environment for our kids. She started refusing to put stuff away and baby-proof, saying our kids were too old for her to have to do that stuff. Last time I was over there were scissors on the coffee table, glass figurines, lots of wires and cords everywhere, just a whole lot of safety hazards. Not a biggie if she was watching them constantly, so we let it slide. She's an older woman and she can't spend time bending over to baby-proof. Then the same day, mother-in-law's dog, a Doberman mix, that was supposed to be locked in the other room during visits, bit our, then, 1-year-old hard on the arm, and mother-in-law didn't inform us until we came to pick him up, and he was crying. We took him to the hospital to make sure he didn't need stitches or anything on it. He ended up being fine with only some topical gel and large band-aid. But the fact mother-in-law didn't do anything like that herself was jarring to me. After that we stopped letting them go over there at all. It's been a year since that incident, and I decided to fly out for a day to meet my sister's new baby with my husband. We let the kids stay at her place for the first time in a while. It went well and we decided to start allowing regular visits again. Also, BC the dog passed away and is no longer a danger. He was sweet but he couldn't be trusted with kids. Keep in mind they haven't seen her in a year at her house. We wanted to give her a second chance. We found out after about 5 visits that she was regularly having her boyfriend over there while the kids were there. We asked her multiple times not to until one day our oldest came home and said he felt uncomfortable around her boyfriend. That's when I drew the line and said no more visits without us there. My husband was upset, saying it's not fair to permanently keep them away again because it's confusing for them and hurting. I agreed and we made the deal. Mother-in-law can only babysit at our house. Here's where it actually started. A few days ago, mother-in-law was asked to babysit at our place while me and my husband went to an appointment. So while you're gone, my mother-in-law texted my husband and asked, "Is it okay if I take the kids to my house and we're just gonna chill there instead?" And my husband texted back and said, "Sure, just get them home by 3 when we get home." Keep in mind, he didn't tell me anything. I was literally getting an ultrasound, and he just texted her back and was like, "Yes, you can take them." Even though we've had this conversation many times that they can't go. So anyway, when we're on the way back, I guess he gets a text from my mother-in-law and it comes on to the car that we're driving through Bluetooth. So I read the text, and it's like, "Oh, running a little bit late back to the house." So I asked, "Oh, where'd they go? Like, did they get ice cream or something?" And he says, "No, I let her take the kids to her house." So pretty much it turns into like this whole big fight because honestly, I felt really disrespected. Anyway, when we get home we go inside and her boyfriend's there. This is the same guy that my kid was like, "I feel uncomfortable around," and we told her that we didn't want him, or any other strangers around our kids, so the fact that she had the audacity to bring him into our house, is like what? So yeah, I was really mad at her, and I started screaming at her. I told her she was a shitty person for bringing in a stranger that my kid feels uncomfortable around into my house. Then I yelled at my husband for not telling me and explaining to me that he was sending our kids off with someone that I told him I didn't trust and that we both agreed on that would not be allowed near our kids at her house. I feel so betrayed and disrespected, honestly. My husband was yelling at me, saying that that's his mom, and that was being unfair and unreasonable, and that she has a right to seeing these kids, and then my mother-in-law backed him up and saying, "Yeah, these are my grandkids, I have a right to see them, you can't keep them away from me." And I was yelling and saying, "This was kidnapping, I didn't say you could take the kids anywhere, and I told you they're not allowed at your house, and you brought them there." So basically, she left, her boyfriend left, and I packed up me and my kids' things, and I drove the 2.5 to 3 hour drive to my other sister's house, and that's where I've been for the past few days because I need a break. Am I overreacting? I feel like someone should have told me that the kids were going there and he tried to keep this a secret from me, which makes it worse. I've been in contact with him and like texting him and calling him so we can try and work SMTH out, but he's not backing down, but I am also not backing down. Mother-in-law's boyfriend gives major creep vibes too. Also, my husband screamed at me over this and said not to come back if I'm going to alienate his mother. I feel awful because it wasn't my intention, I just don't want my kids around some stranger that makes them uncomfortable and a woman who doesn't properly watch them. He also sent a text saying, You and those little asshats can stay away if you're like this to my mother. I can send them wherever I want. Mother-in-law's BF's name is a good guy, Sage, our son, is making stuff up, he's a baby. I want to work things out, but you need to respect my mother. AITAH. He's never like this and I'm shocked. Am I the a-hole? My husband sent a really heartfelt apology. He sent screenshots from a background check showing mother-in-law's BF isn't meant to be near kids due to SMTH he did in the past. I started sobbing because I feel like I've failed them as a parent letting them be near someone like that. I know nothing happened, but the fact that there was an opportunity to, I feel like such a shitty mom. This guy watched my son get bathed. I feel so grossed out and I want to slap the BF and mother-in-law. As a kid I was actually SA'd, so I know the signs, hence why my guard was up. I think my husband just thought he was an old guy with a bad concept of boundaries who was trying to be nice. I told my husband that I need time to process everything because he chose someone else over me and his kids, and that was so hurtful. I was trying to tell him SMTH was wrong and he ignored it. I told him he needs therapy to work on his own issues and learn how to recognize things that are wrong before we can even consider moving back in together. I also told him that I won't be keeping him away from the kids at this time, but it must be at my house with me or in a third-party location. I told him I won't be bringing legal into this unless he wants me to, but I have enough evidence where I'd likely be getting full custody with supervised visits anyway. He said his mom was manipulating him and he's moving in with a friend instead of her and we can see how it goes from there. I asked him to return his house key temporarily. He gave over his house key to my brother, and me and the kids are moving back in on Saturday. I'm stuck in this space where I don't know to trust him or leave and tell myself that this was unforgivable. As long as he fixes himself and mother-in-law is out of the picture we should be good, I'm thinking. I know he's genuinely a good father and if he gets over his mama's boy routine it could work out. I'm just still kinda hurt. If the kids weren't involved if I'd be able to overlook it and work through it, but I feel like I have to at least try for their sake, so even if we do divorce we can have a civil relationship. I will be looking into family lawyers, attorneys, and things like that in case something like this happens in the future. I can have someone to go to immediately start the custody and divorce process. I will also look into couples counseling down the line for both of us. We've been together 10 years and I don't want to ruin it, but I need to know we can trust each other. I moved back into our house Saturday with the kids and my husband is staying with a friend. My sister is staying with us for now and my husband's mother broke up with the BF and soon after he was taken into custody. As of now, my husband has no contact with her. He's booked some therapy sessions for the near future and we're looking into couples/marriage counseling for after. Apparently when he sent those texts he was mad. His mom was telling him stuff to try and make him go against me, and was threatening him. He also said he had a few drinks. We talked over text and he apologized multiple times and admitted what he said was wrong, especially about the kids. I'm not forgiving him for this right now, but this was his excuse he gave. I just went in for a doctor's appointment and have to be induced in 2 days due to some concerns. Luckily, I'm full term, but I'm a little sad about not getting to go into spontaneous labor. I'm prepared for all the hate in the comments, but he will be allowed to come meet the twins once they're born for a little while, but he won't be coming home with me. I will be pursuing legal separation for now. I personally do not feel this is grounds to throw away 13 years of partnership, 10 of marriage, immediately. I need time to think and get my ducks in a row if I do want to pursue divorce. All you guys have seen is this one thing, not how he's genuinely been my rock and best friend for the past decade of my life. He's the best father to these kids and I know he genuinely cares about them. I'd like to try and see if he can do better and keep them safe, but we need separation for now, for at least 8 to 12 months. I'm still not fully set on what I want to do, I just know I want him to at least meet the twins he helped create. He's had my back every time up until that very last incident. What he did was unacceptable and unfair to me and the kids. I'm in the works of getting a separation agreement in place. To all of you encouraging me to just drop him. Then he would have 50% custody and give them to whoever he wants whenever, and I have no say and no knowledge. My sister and brother will watch our oldest kids while we are at the hospital, and we have cameras set up to make sure mother-in-law doesn't show up. We called the kids' schools preschools and took mother-in-law off the pickup list. Thank you for all of your concern and help in this issue. I'm a little paranoid, so I did check the house for any hidden cameras and I'm working on changing the locks right now. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.